Welcome to Talking Twst, the podcast where I talk about anything Twist related and answer some questions from fellow Twist fans. Against my better judgment and knowledge, I'm doing this off script. I mean, I have like a little bit of a script, but I'm like, So the Anime Japan panels just concluded, about an hour and a half ago-ish. And to be honest, I'm kind of like not sleepy at all. So I figured I would just stay awake and record this. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Anime Japan news in like greater detail. I did post a TikTok right after everything got announced and stuff, but I wanted to go more in depth and I felt like this would probably be the better place for it. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about that. So, yeah, the majority of this is off script. Again, not a great idea, but I'm going with it. It's like 4 a.m. and I can't sleep, so, So admittedly, I did not watch the game panel. It was an Abema channel exclusive, which fucking sucks. It's homophobic, it's transphobic, it shot my cat. I really hate Abema channel. So I was not able to watch it because they're really strict on VPNs and stuff, and it's like, on one hand, I get it, but I'm also like, bro, really? And I will say, I mean, I hate Abema, but honestly, my anger's more at Disney for having the Abema channel, because, like, while I don't know their business model, I think you probably have to pay to have an Abema channel thing. And YouTube is free, babes. Like, just have a YouTube live stream. Anyway, it makes me mad. Anyways, so I did not watch this, so this is the information that I've gotten via Twitter and watching people freak out. But I was able to watch the anime panel, which had significantly less information, which I'm a little mad about, not gonna lie. But, I mean, I'm mad that, like, I spent all this time waiting for it, and then it was, like, 2 news things, and it's like, great. We'll get there. We will get there. Anyway, so we're gonna start with the in-game stuff. And keep in mind, the stuff is about the Japanese server. I mean, some things will apply to EN eventually, but, like, I don't know. So first up, we're getting overblot cards, starting with Malleuses. So if you want an overblot card for, like, Riddle, or Idia, or Leona, etc., I would personally start saving now because 1, we don't know when they're coming out, and 2, we don't know what order they're coming out in, and honestly, I feel like as long as you, like, start saving now, you'll be fine. Hopefully. I mean, I like to be over-prepared for things, you guys know this, but yeah, you might want to consider saving up now. So they showed off his card art, and he looks so good. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he looks terrifying, and I'm like over here just like kicking my feet and being like, hello? Can I have smoochies, please? I'm just built different, apparently. I am built different. But it looks really, really good. So far, I have 110 pulls saved, so I still need to get like another 90 just to guarantee him. We do know, though, that there's going to be special campaigns going on with these cards, and then also special new content like chats between Diasomnia characters and stuff, like new ones. That is what I've heard. Honestly, I'm just more excited about the card. We're gonna be fully real, I'm more excited about the card than anything else. We also don't know if this is going to be the blueprint going forward for the other overblot cards. I would assume so, but I'm not 100% sure. As far as I know, I don't think they talked about it, so I don't know. All we know is that we're getting the cards at some point. So the second piece of news, in October, there will be a special 3D Live in Chiba. There will be 3 concerts spanning 3 days for about an hour each. Currently, the only way to get a ticket is by a lottery system held within the Japanese Twist game. Like, literally in the, for people who are playing that live in Japan, you access it through the announcements, and then there's a link to to send in your application for the tickets. So they're just, picking random people for it. I doubt that they're gonna have gaijin packages like Love Live does, which really sucks because that would have been really nice. I mean, on one hand, I guess I kind of get it. I don't know how big the venue is, but it does not look that big. But, like, it kind of sucks, though, especially since we have precedents of these, like, franchises that do have gaijin packages. So I went on the website to look because I was wondering, like, are they gonna have a gaijin package? Or, like, what are the requirements? Because I know for some lives, they specify that, like, you have to be a Japanese resident to, like, apply and stuff. So I wanted to see, like, did they say? And they didn't say you have to be a Japanese resident. And you would think, oh, well then maybe if I play overseas, I can go and, apply and do the thing. Which would be a good idea, but they're using E+ for the tickets. And I get it, like, E+ is very popular over there, as far as I know. But it sucks because in order to sign up for E+, you have to have a valid Japanese phone number. So yeah, if you're an overseas fan, you're kind of screwed over, basically. Which sucks because I was going through and reading everything, and they were like, oh, you'll need identification that matches the name on your ticket. You can use your passport, driver's license, like this. They were going through the list of stuff. And I was like, well, maybe I could apply for the lottery and then head over and, use my passport as my identification. And then they were like, oh, things will be done through E+. And I was like, I'm going to kill myself. I was so mad. I was like, no! Really? I was kind of mad about that. I mean, I would like to go, but I mean, unfortunately, it's not in the cards. There might be, I guess if you're very determined, there might be some leeway. So I was reading through it, the website that was saying all this, and they said, if you are buying the ticket, you have to have a Twst JP account at the time of signing up and stuff, and you have to do the stuff through E+. They did say, however, if I read it correctly, that if you buy it, you can have someone accompany you and buy a second ticket, and that person does not need a Twst JP account. So theoretically speaking, if you had a friend who plays JP and has a, Japanese phone number, technically speaking, if they won the lottery, you could have them buy you a ticket and you could go over, theoretically speaking. I don't know if they would allow that. Again, I don't know if it's one of those cases where they just don't want to outright say, if you're not a Japanese resident, you can't go. I don't know if it's one of those cases, so there might be leeway. I would honestly contact them and be like, hey, can I buy this for a Kai guy friend and they come over and that sort of thing? I would personally ask because it would suck if you went through all of that and then they wouldn't let you in. But yeah, I'm honestly pretty bummed. So, there will be full versions of the dorm songs. So good news, it's going to be posted on Aniplex JP's YouTube account. On the downside, though, you need a VPN to watch that channel because it's region locked, which sucks. So I have to download my VPN again. Don't care for that very much, but okay. I will say I don't know a lot about this. So I have heard people say that they are going to do all of the dorms, but I have not heard of, any uploading schedule for this. And also, I don't know if it's just because people are hyped because Hartzlobule is dropping tomorrow. I've not heard anyone really say anything else about the other dorms, so I don't know, part of me is well, does that mean that they're not actually doing the other dorms and people are just misunderstanding, and they're only doing Hartzlobule, which also I feel it'd be weird if they just did Hartzlobule, but I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so that is a thing that is going to happen. They did post a preview for it. It's very, it's not with the 3D models, which I guess kind of sucks, so there's no hologram ready video for us to have our own little bootleg lives, which kind of sucks. You guys are not going to be getting a Pepper's Ghost Effect tutorial from me anytime soon, because not gonna lie, if they were doing the hologram ready 3D model music video thing, I absolutely would be okay, here's how you do a Pepper's Ghost Effect at home, because literally it's the easiest thing to do. I guess small side tangent that. It's a theater effect that's been around for I think the first instance of it was in the 1850s. It's been around for a very, very long time. If you've been to any Disney park and you've done Haunted Mansion, that is how they do the ballroom scenes. It's a giant Pepper's Ghost Effect. It's a pane of glass and light bouncing off it. Anyways. I'm not gonna get into it. But it's a very old effect, and you can do it very, very easily at home. It's extremely easy to do. And also it's tried and true. Like I said, they've been using this for theater and stuff since, the 1800s. But unfortunately, it's more a lyric video, kind of what you would see for, Vocaloid songs. So, it's very well done, don't get me wrong, and I'm excited that we're getting the things, but it's very, I wish we had seen a little bit of dancing, though. But yeah, so those will be dropping. The other songs, I don't know. Hartzlobule should be up by the time I post this, so, yeah. You'll need a VPN, but I mean, hopefully someone, posts it for, overseas fans. So that's just kind of it on the full dorm songs. this is not something that we've gotten word on. I know that they're dropping a CD that has the short versions of the songs, which I think is fucking stupid. But I would imagine that at some point they're gonna drop a CD with, like, the full versions, but, like, I don't know when that would be. But yeah, so that was everything from the game panel, and then we also had the anime panel, which it was kind of... I don't want to be mean, but I feel like a lot of times, Twst panels are a little bit of nothing burgers. Sometimes you get really good ones that have a lot of information, but I feel like a lot of time it's just like either stuff we already knew or stuff that, I mean, I just personally don't care about, you know? Like, if you guys care about the voice actors and their opinions and stuff and hearing them talk about stuff, then I would not call them nothing burgers, but I'm personally not super into it. I'm mostly there for information and stuff, so yeah, you know. But anyway, so the anime panel was majority of just the MC asking the cast questions. It was, let's see, Ace, Riddle, Deuce, Grimm, and Crowley's voice actors. And then Yukens ended up making a special guest appearance, and they brought him in, like, I don't know, halfway through. So, we got a teaser trailer for the anime that looks really, really, really good. Oh my god, it looks so good. It is extremely pretty. I am hoping that the rest of it looks that great, but we will see. But yeah, it looks, at least the parts that they showed look really, really good. And then also they did announce Yuken's voice actor. He's voiced by Azakami Yohei, who I'm not personally familiar with. People were saying that he's Mighty's voice actor from Star Rail, but I do not know if that's true. We are gonna look that up right now, gamers. Okay, Honkai Star Rail Mighty voice actor. Okay, yes, so he does voice Mighty in Genshin Impact. In Honkai Star Rail, I don't play in Japanese. I play in Chinese or English. I don't play in the other languages. But if you play in Japanese, it's the same voice. Yeah, that's really all they said about the anime. It's still going to be released in October. But yeah, they really were just, like, chatting with the, you know, cast of, like, oh, what was your first impressions of the game? And, like, what's it like, you know, now that it's gonna be animated? And how did you react hearing to how it's gonna be animated and stuff? Which, again, I'm not super interested in. You know, I do think it's nice that they're, like, you know, getting some information and, like, chatting and stuff, but again, I'm really just kind of there for announcements personally. But those are the new news pieces we have. I will say for me, I think the most exciting thing is, the overblot cards. They just look really, really good. I guess we'll just rank how excited for everything I am. So first thing, overblot cards. I'm so fucking stoked about that. Second thing, I'm really excited about the full dorm songs. I feel like the, you know, versions in-game were very, very short. And I will say, like, I played a lot of Love Live School Idol Festival. I am no stranger to shortened versions of songs, but I feel like these were just a little too short, you know? And also, I think it's only small chunks, and it's not like Love Live where they actually cut it to make it sound kind of like its own mini song. It just sounds like they were like, okay, let's just grab some of, like, the pre-chorus and then the chorus and then maybe, like, part of the next verse or whatever. Whereas Love Live made a conscious effort to make things sound like, okay, we're going to have the intro, we're going to have part of the first verse or the entire first verse, the entire chorus, and then we'll, like, have a small snippet of the ending, so it literally sounds just like kind of a really short song. Which I really appreciated, and I will say that's one thing that I think Twst could do better. You know what, and they do that for other things too, like they did that for, Rave Up Up. Like, couldn't you have done that again? You know, the version that we first hear is a shortened version, of the, like, actual song, and I'm like, why couldn't we have just done that for this? But, like, okay. But anyways, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the anime. I'm just gonna group those together. I'm excited for the anime. I really, really hope that, you know, the rest of it's really pretty. I know that there was some drama with the, Junji Ito anime, Uzumaki? Is that what it's called? Anyway, I just saw a lot of drama with that because I guess the first episode looked really, really good and then the rest did not look great. So, you know, one fear. One fear. So I'm hoping the rest of it looks really good, but I mean, I guess only time will tell. So I'm excited for that. I know a lot of people are really, wanting it to be in English, and I do think it will be. Available for people overseas. I do think there will be an English dub. But also when I was looking at the YouTube description for, the live stream, they literally were like, in English, they were like, oh hey, there will be subtitles with English after the stream is concluded, so like, if you want to come back and watch with subs, like, you've got a little bit, and then, just come back later, and then the subs will be done and stuff, but like, for the actual event, we're not gonna have live translation, sorry about that. I mean, there were people in chat that were live translating things, which was very nice. But yeah, they kind of knew that a lot of people were going to be overseas fans, I feel like. And there were a lot of Japanese fans in the chat that were like, oh, I'm really surprised at how many, English speakers there are here and how many overseas fans there are. Which I feel like, at least before the stream started, I feel like the majority of people talking were talking in English. But I did see, quite a few people talking in Japanese as well, and then some in Korean. So that was really fun. And then I would say the thing I'm the least excited about is just the 3D live, because I'm not really going to be able to see it and stuff. I'm like, please, just make it somewhat accessible, please. That or sell streaming tickets. That would be, I know they won't, but it would have been fun if they did, I don't know if they still do this, but I know that Love Live used to do that, where you could buy streaming tickets, and I've actually watched, let's see, I've seen them live twice, Aqua at least, and I've seen them, streaming concert-wise, I think 2 or 3 times. So, you could do that, but, yeah, that kind of sucks. And then it looks like the, music videos that Aniplex is gonna post are not, with the 3D models, so we can't even have, our bootleg lives. We're gonna have to do things the old-fashioned way, where where some people who go to the concert, watch the concert and learn the dance, and then they do a dance practice video, and then someone online mirrors it, and then you learn the mirrored version from these people who were at the concert. If you are a Love Live cover idol, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. That is just the ecosystem when it comes to learning, dances. No, we're just gonna have to make up our own stuff and be like, is this the actual choreography? No. Is this what we're gonna do anyways? No, for reals though, I think it'd be really fun to have a little mini live sort of thing with a whole bunch of other Twst cosplayers and covering the songs and stuff, but oh my god. Getting 22 people would be difficult, but it would be so much fun though. Maybe. I would have to reach out to a lot of people in the, SoCal community, but maybe. Anyways, so, least excited about that, but I'm hoping that maybe there will be a way to see it, legitimate or not, but anyway, so that is, all of the Anime Japan news that we have gotten. It has been a night. It has been an evening. I don't really have anything else really to say. So, I'm going to move on to question, and yeah. Okay, so also against my better judgment, I am doing these off script. Again, we are just making extremely terrible decisions. Okay, anyways. So, our first question is from Judas, him. He asks, why are there 3 different interpretations of you in the manga? Is there a theory for this? First off, thank you for your question. Second off, yes, there's a couple of different theories that I've seen going around. So, most of them, I think, are considering each... I'm trying to think how to explain this in, a succinct and not insane-sounding way. So, a lot of people believe in the time loop theory, and most of the different U's that I've seen kind of tie into that. So, a lot of people think of each U as a different, loop, per se. So, Yuken fails in something, and so then Yuka's brought in, and she fails too, and then Yuda's brought in, and he fails, and then Yuna's brought in, and, that sort of thing. So people are thinking, well, maybe that's the thing, that it's each thing is a different loop. So, the game is a different loop, the first manga is a different loop, the novel is a different loop, the third manga is a different loop. That is an idea that I've seen going around. I've seen other people say that it's not necessarily different continuities per se, but it's just, them getting creative and having a U that's a better foil to the overblotter, going back to talking about my wonderful, beautiful daughter, Yuna, a lot of people talk about how much of a foil she is to Jamil, and, I think that her being kind of the you to go against him would work a little bit better than, like, Yuken or Yuka or something like that. So I've seen some people say, well, maybe it's just kind of a choice to have a better foil, and that kind of involves getting a new you. I've seen a lot of different things on it, and you all know that I hate time loop theory. You know that I do not like time loops. That being said, though, my personal idea for you, and I'm gonna do a giant video on this later, so don't ask questions. No, I'm just kidding. I think something along the time loop theory is going on, but I think that every you that comes in is brought in as a sacrificial lamb, per se, so that's why there's a lot of them. It's not necessarily just like, oh, it's a different time loop and a different trial. Like, no, I think Crowley might be doing, or his benefactor, whoever, might be bringing them in as sacrificial lambs. I know that there's some other theories about you that I'm not, super familiar with. I know that for the manga Yus, at least, I don't know if Yuya fits into this. But I know the game Yu does not fit into this because their name is written in katakana, I believe. It's not written in kanji. It's hiragana or katakana. I don't remember which one it is. But the default name is not written in kanji, but the mangas are. In the manga, each Yu, the kanji and their name, kind of relates back to different concepts in Buddhism. But again, this is a theory that I'm really not familiar with. It's something that I've heard about, but I'm not really so sure about. But I think ultimately, those are kind of the most popular theories that I've seen around. I don't know who originated any of them, I'm going to be fully honest. They are just ones that I have seen discussed and floated around. I personally lean more towards time loop, but I don't think we have enough information to quite say what the situation is yet. I think we will eventually, but as of now, I can't really say for certain. All I can say is that I think that there's definitely some sacrificing going on. Not in I guess it is kind of scary, but I definitely think that Yu is getting summoned there intentionally to play the role of a sacrifice. I can't really say, it sucks because I'm I want to explain, but if I explained, we would be here for 2 hours. Which is vastly over the time limit of this podcast, so I'm not going to, but I think that there's some nefarious things going on. But yeah, those are kind of the main Yu theories that I've seen, and who knows, maybe with Chapter 8 we'll get, different information, or more information about things, and then the theories will change, or maybe new theories will crop up. But as of now, at the end of Book 7, Book 7 literally just ended, those are the current theories that are in the fandom. So our second question is from Maxi, they. They ask, do you think Crowley could be Maleficent's crow/raven? Not just twisted from the crow, but straight up is him? Considering how little we actually know about him, including his age and his background, I think there's a chance he would have worked for the Thorn Fairy while she was still alive before ending up as NRC's head mage. First off, thank you for your question. I think it's likely, and I feel like this whole video is talking about Anime Japan and then hyping up the next big theory video. Well, I don't know if it's going to be next, but a theory I've been working on for a while. I think it's very possible that Crowley is actually one of the Great Seven's familiars, but I'm flip-flopping between Maleficent and the Evil Queen. I'm leaning more towards the Evil Queen, to be completely honest, but there's some things that I think are very interesting in the game that I feel kind of got lost in translation. I'll go ahead and say it. Language has a lot of things going on, right? This did not get translated into the English version because it wasn't just adapted out on purpose. There's really no word for us in English for this. But in the Japanese version, when Crowley is talking to his benefactor and, talking to them, he uses a, pronoun for you that is specifically for women, which obviously we do not have in English. We just have you, which is, gender neutral. We do not have a specific you for women. But when will we? #feminism. No. But to me, that makes it kind of sound that one, I think it's very interesting that his benefactor is a woman. And second off, both women of the Great Seven, or not both women, there's a third, but 2 of the women in the Great Seven, Maleficent and the Evil Queen, both have raven or crow familiars, and I think that's very interesting. And then hearing Crowley be like, "Oh, my benefactor," whatever the fuck whatever else he says. I think that's very interesting. I will say the reason I'm thinking more of, like, the Evil Queen is because of the aesthetics of the game, but honestly, like, we don't really know a lot, and it could be the Thorn Fairy or, you know, the Evil Queen. I feel like I think it's kind of more of an equal toss-up, to be quite honest. You know, aesthetics aside, like, that could just not mean anything, you know? But I definitely think it's possible, and, like, I know a lot of people think he's Fae, and to be fair, he could be. But considering he carries around transmutation potions just randomly, the fact that we do not know a lot about him, you know, it makes me kind of wonder if he is actually a familiar that's been, transformed into a human, and he's not necessarily, like, just a Fae or whatever. Because, you know, like, some Fae do have, like, their true form and then a human form, you know? Like, that's Malleus, you know? Like, he's not, like, a human that can take dragon form. He's a dragon that can just look like a guy. That could be what Crowley is, right? Like, he could just be, like, a crow or a raven that could look like a human. But on the other hand, it wouldn't surprise me if he's some kind of familiar that's just able to use magic and use potions and kind of turn himself into a man. But I also think there's some other, like, questions about it, especially, like, you all know I hate this theory. You know, there is the theory that Crowley is, you know, Malleus's dad, Ravern, which I unfortunately think is, it's getting more traction, and I think it's for, you know, fairly logical that sounds so catty. Okay. I really hate the Ravern is Crowley theory. Not because I think it's dumb or I think that there's no evidence for it. I think that there is, you know, evidence for it, and I don't think it's stupid. I just don't like it. I am a natural born hater. But also I just don't really like the idea of Crowley being Malleus's dad. Like, I just don't like it. So it's not like I think that it has bad evidence or anything. I don't, you know? And I think the more that we're getting out of Chapter 7, the more that I'm looking at that theory, and I'm like, oh god, I feel like that's gonna end up being canon, you know? Which, I guess those two things could be true, but I feel like there's just so much mystery around Crowley that, like, I guess I could see it going both ways, honestly. Or honestly, it could be a mix of either, you know? Like, I think it's very possible, and honestly, that's what I'm really hoping it ends up being. But yeah, I'm hoping with Chapter 8 that we get more information on Crowley to make more solid theories. Because I feel like with the information we currently have, and with, like, ambiguous things are right now, I feel like there's just not a lot for us to make, like, super solid theories yet. And, you know, like, that's calling out my own stuff too, you know? Like, there's just so much going on. It's like, I don't know, we're just spitballing, you know? And then there's also, like, the whole Crowley's overblot. Like, literally, we just have so much that we don't know about him yet that it's like, I feel like the sky's the limit, but also with that, I feel like because anything is possible, like, it's kind of hard to figure out where they're gonna go with it, you know? I totally just went on a wild tangent. I'm so sorry about that. But anyways, yes, I do think it's possible, but time will tell. But honestly, like, I really hope it's that and that he's not Malleus' dad. I'm gonna be so real. So our final question is from Twistnerd the 84th, she, her. She asks, just a funny question, but do you think Azul is actually romantically interested in Idia? So, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, you are enabling me to be a hater. No, like, literally me being a hater is just, like, all of my videos, basically. So, I will preface this by saying there's not a lot of ships in game that I actually like. The only ships that I really like are Malleuses, Adusu, specifically as a polycule, one-sided Ace-U, where he likes you, but, like, they have no feelings for him romantically. I like Rookville. I like Treyville. I like Scully-U, and honestly, that's it. Like, everything else I'm either more, like, meh to, or I'm like, ugh, to, you know? Like, just for an example, like, Jack Epple, like, I'm like, okay. Like, I don't really see it, and I don't really care for it, but, like, okay, whatever. And then for, like, it would be, like, Flo Riddle, like, I fucking hate that ship. And for people who ship like that, I'm reversible on all of these. So when I'm talking about one, like, if I say, like, Malleuses, like, Malleus and you and Malleus, I know that some fan circles will, like, differentiate the two. I personally don't do that, so if I'm talking about that, I'm also talking about it reversed. Anyways, that being said, I personally don't like Idia Azul, and I don't think that they're like, I personally don't see them being interested in each other. And also, while on one hand, shipping is not about what you think is like, you know, canon, or, you know, what you think like the most likely ship is. Shipping is about what you think the most interesting is, or like, you know, you seeing the Blorbos you want to see kiss or whatever. They do banter a little bit between them, but it's not something that I see and I'm like, You know, like, going to ships where I'm like, like, Jamil Yu. Like, I don't necessarily ship it, but like, Jamil will say things and then I'm like, Sir? Sir, could you repeat what you just, You know, and it kind of makes me think of like, is there something there? But on the other hand, like, that's really not the way that I interpret Azul and Idia's, like, talking. Especially with book 7 and stuff, like, I mean, I think it is kind of funny. I do think it's funny for Idia to, you know, kind of be roasting Azul and stuff for having his, like, jock dream and everything. But on the other hand, like, I just don't personally see it as romantic, and, like, I mean, that specific scenario, but them just personally, I don't really see it. That being said, I don't know if, like, Idia is someone that Azul would be interested in romantically. I do think it would be kind of, well, On one hand, I see where the shippers are coming because they are friends, and they both are in the same club, and so there is some connection there. But, like, I don't know if Idia is someone who would compliment Azul well. And of course, you know, love just happens, and so it's not like necessarily they'd be good compliments for each other, you know? Like, you can like someone and they're like a complete disaster and totally not a great compliment for you. But, like, I just don't know if, like, Idia is someone that Azul would fall in love with, per se. I do think Azul would appreciate Idia's insight on, like, otaku markets and also how things work. And also he would appreciate the free labor for making Emotional Lounge website. But on the other hand, like, I feel like Azul would need someone... how do I say this? I feel like Azul would need someone to kind of, not enable him per se, but, you know, kind of be up for... God, how do I say this? I feel like when it comes to romance, I feel like Azul would look for people that are more like, kind of willing to go with his shenanigans and kind of have the same kind of business acumen that he does. I feel like he would also look for someone that has complementary skills, which, to be fair, Idia does have, you know? But I feel like he would want someone more instead of, like, someone that could provide free labor, someone who could provide, more stuff on the business side of things. So, like, someone who knew their laws and, like, their code and that sort of thing. Someone who might be a chef and will be able to kind of perpetually do stuff, you know? I'm trying to think of, like, how to explain it because I feel like I'm not doing a great job. But basically, it's like, I feel like he would look for very specific skills, and I don't really know if Idia's would be, like, the skills that he would necessarily be looking for, per se. But also, I feel like he would need someone to, like... This sounds really mean, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but I feel like he would need someone to kind of bring him back down to reality. And what I mean by that is that, like, Azul has a lot of, you know... I'm not trying to be mean with saying this to Azul, but he has a lot of, you know, problems that I think he would need someone to kind of help him rein it in and comfort him and kind of reassure him that he's okay and that something is okay, you know? A lot of characters do not take his, eating, you know, I don't want to say disordered eating because it's not necessarily, but, like, Azul very much has a very complicated relationship with food. You know, I think that he would need someone to reassure him, like, hey, like, it's okay if you have fried food, like, it's gonna be okay, like, don't worry, you don't have to have it, but if you want to have it, that's okay. And I feel like he would need someone to kind of reassure him and kind of, you know, validate his fears and be like, I know that this is, like, a thing that you're afraid of, and I know that you have, you know, trauma associated with this. But then also, you know, kind of help him, I guess, work past it a little bit and be like, you know, but it's okay if you have some, like, you can have some fried chicken, it's okay. I feel like he would need someone more like that. And then also, I do think he would need someone to kind of rein him in when it comes to business decisions, you know? Let's say he wants to still go through and make a second location for the Emotional Lounge. You know, someone who could be like, hey, I know you want to do this and I know that you're seeing dollar signs, but, like, is this going to be a feasible thing? are we going to be making money from this, or is this just going to be a very expensive, thing? Like, do we have the manpower for this? Do we have the budget for this? Do we have enough, skilled enough staff to be running a second location? And furthermore, is there a actual need for a second location? Or should we go and, do a mobile order system? Or do something kind of like DoorDash? Should we putting that stuff towards something else that would be better and more, valuable for us as a business? And I feel like, while Idia could definitely bring him down a little bit of hey, I think this is a dumb idea, I don't know if he would necessarily be at the level that Azul would need or Azul would be attracted to, per se. So I mean, there's also a lot of things, I don't really vibe with the ship anyway. But, I don't know if Idia is, the kind of person Azul would go for. I guess that's my main thing about it. I know that this is God. I'm looking at the recording time, and so far I've been talking about this for 10 minutes, which I have not talked about the other questions in that much depth. I love that the one silly ship question is the one that gets me to be talking the most. But anyways, yeah, I don't personally see it, but also, if people ship it, I really don't care. I'm just okay, and, And that is our episode for the month. Thank you, guys. A lot has happened this month. I don't really, again, I'm off script, so I don't really know how to end this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys are the most excited for. God, I'm really excited for the overblot cards. I am so excited for the overblot cards. Also, I'm sorry if my mic is picking up clicking. I'm going into YouTube to double check my members list. Fun fact. YouTube does not email you when you get new YouTube members. You kind of just have to go and look at your members list manually. So, oh my god, we hit 3,000! Ah! Hell yeah, let's go! Sorry, I'm looking at my stuff right now. I'm looking at my dashboard. But anyways, I want to thank my members, my ladyfingers in waiting, who support me and help me to continue doing this. So a big thank you to Meechgal2189, Omimi, Eel, Annette, Bree, Starbear24, Crabjail, Ingumo, Richter32, Farafo, Ukaku, and yours are the Kiseki. Thank you guys. I love you. I am sending you all a snacky treat of your choice telepathically. Man, I really wish YouTube would just email me though and be like, hey, so-and-so is a member now. I wish they would do that, and yet they don't. Yet they don't. Anyways, so thank you guys for joining me this month. I don't know what we're gonna talk about month after next in, what is, May? April? May? Yeah, it should be May. I don't know what we're gonna talk about for May, but we'll talk about something fun. But yeah, I will see you guys in May, or, just another time if you watch other videos of mine. But yeah, I hope you guys are hyped for everything, and I will see you guys in the future. Bye bye!